How you doing, everybody? This is PND 51010, and today we're going to be looking at footage of a reporter from Bloomberg Television. And one of the reasons why I'm analyzing this footage, I mean, it's nobody significant as far as in the positions of power or who has a public platform to speak, but it's common ground, and you know, I do this myself sometimes. I come across footage, and at a first glance, you see that it might be, at a first glance, it might look damaged or, you know, legitimate video deficiencies, video artifacts, pixelation, and you easily dismiss it just based on the fact not taking a closer look, like I almost did with this video. But then upon taking a closer look, you see a lot more. It's in slowing it down that you see that the facial structure is just morphing beyond anything that any type of video artifact or video deficiency can create. And not only that, the texture of the skin and the green blotches and claws and just all distinct reptilian features that I just don't see common video deficiencies creating. But you know, it's very easy for a person whose paradigm does not include information on the occult or, you know, cryptozoological topics such as this, to dismiss it as just common video artifacts. So, you know, and for even people that are aware of the occult and topics such as these, they still tend not to accept the extraterrestrial aspect of it, simply based on the fact that it's so far outside of their belief structure that the information tends to shake or even break their belief structure in an attempt to basically keep their stagnant, isolated worldview intact. They'll just reject any information that's foreign to what they've initially come to believe as their truth. So ontologically, it's just too much of a shock to them. So they just can't seem to integrate this type of information into their truth. You know, there's people out there that are extremely aware, but when it comes to information as far as, you know, the extraterrestrial aspects and the reptilian agenda, they just can't accept it because it's just too far outside of their understanding. But we're going to get into this because we don't got that much time, and I want to show you as much as possible. So first I want to show you the beginning, and she's interviewing a senator here. I forgot his name. His name is Whip something, weird name, but he's a shapeshifter as well. That's him right there. But yeah, let's get to this here. Right here she is. And you'll see, you know, the common heavily hooded eyelids and green splotches and scales and reptilian skin, and just a lot of, you have to look close in order to see. At a first glance, like I said before, it could just be dismissed as barely damaged video. But you take what you feel, you know. If this information doesn't resonate with you, you dismiss it, you know. People say, "Oh, this is fear-mongering." If fear is derived from viewing this information, then that's of no consequence to me. That's entirely your own responsibility to experience that fear and move past it. You know, if you have fear because of information, and you have some work to do. But you can see transparent eyelids here. You see her right, well, our left, her right. You see how the eyelid is closed, but you can still see the complete eye set behind it. And we'll see some various mouth anomalies too. Teeth just dematerializing and all sorts of strange stuff. See, we still see the transparent eyelids there. It just ended right there. And you can see the anomalies in this part of the eye occur as well, all over the face. It's almost as if masking patches are put over places where she's morphing the most to compensate for the shifting in that area. I brightened this a little bit. That's the only excuse me. That's the only alterations that have been done, as I brightened it so you can see some of the anomalies here more clear. We see how one eye has become kind of blurred and the other's kind of focused, but you can see the eye right is completely triangular. Let's see where are we? Okay. Alright, we're gonna go and zoom forward to the next series of frames. Okay, here she is, and you can see already she's not even on camera 3 seconds and her face is already barely deformed. Let me pull up this icon here. Alrighty. And you can see the green hue around the eye area too as well, and you'll see that at various different parts of the face as well throughout the course of this analysis. And if you watch the source video, there is some legitimate deficiencies here as far as blur, but you can see that the main anomalies are isolated to her face. They're not happening across the whole screen. And you can see the facial structure just morphing completely to where across frames she looks like completely different people. It's a very crude it's very crude what they're trying to pass as human here. It's kind of, you know, an insult. You see the nose changing across frames, the eyes, like I said before, it looks like completely different people across frames. Let's back out a little bit, be able to see. Watch the jawline too, you'll see the jawline, the structure of the jaw change dramatically over the course of frames too. It becomes square, then round. I mean, I just can't see how legitimate video artifacts or any type of deficiencies can create this. How it can be a product of that. Look at that. What's in the mouth there? I mean, it's just completely anomalous. The structure of the jawline is just so deed-ow, for lack of a better term. I mean, look at it. And look at the texture of the skin. I mean, it's as if it's occurring on the skin. And look at the lip. Look how displaced it is. There's definitely a masking program in effect here. And I really do think there's a pixel mask in use, because then people could just chalk it up to pixelation. Oh, it's easily explained, but there's definitely, I feel, something way more going on here. See the heavily hooded eyelids and the scales right here? You see how it's become completely miscolored? And you can see right here, the texture change is very coarse and bumpy. Extremely strange. Mouth's morphing extremely. Now here we can see the slip pupil starting to come out somewhat. You see on the corner of the mouth how it seems like it's like blocking it out. Like if you've seen some of the NASA moon pictures, like some of the structures they fudged out, they smudged out. This is what the same technique is almost used, kind of like, but in a digital way or something. You know how they smudge out some of the areas that are more extreme or more in flux. We can see right here the reptilian skin starting to come out around the eye line, right over here above the eye. Back out a little bit here. See how heavily hooded they become? Pay attention to around the mouth area. See how coarse and bumpy the texture of the skin has become? What's up, Smokey? It's my doggy. She likes to take it upon herself to walk in and not even knock. I haven't taught her that yet. Here we can see the whole face is kind of blurred now because it's in heavy flux, so they have no choice but to blur the whole face. But you can see in some areas the texture of the skin start to change or become clear enough to where it's visible. See the eye now? Look at the eyelids. Now the structure starts to morph in the face. And pay attention to the jawline as well. See now in her mouth there, well, looks like her tongue, but doesn't look like a normal tongue to me. Let's fast forward this a little bit. And you see in real time, I'm using bigger intervals. I'm not doing it frame by frame, but you can see, look at the lip. Look at that pointy part of the lip right there. Extremely, extremely anomalous. Look how heavy the heavily fluxed the face is here, especially around the eye region. And when you watch the source video, if you choose to watch it, pay attention to her hands too. I'm not going to feature them here because I don't know what frames they're in, but just watch. You'll see claws and they turn green, and see the eyes. And look, as she gets, it seems as she gets further away, it gets worse. See, this is like a further shot. We're gonna run out of time here, but hope you enjoyed this analysis, and I hope it helped to raise your awareness. Be well and be at peace, everyone.